Okay, you ready?
Yep.
We ready to start? Are we starting? Have we already started?
We're starting now.
Starting right now on Off the Cuff. We discuss all things gaming.
At least Troll and Toad related,
Troll and Toad related.
which luckily is pretty much anything pop culture and awesome.
Yeah, pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Gaming as in card gaming, video games, everything. We do board
Anything.
games. Yeah. We do it. We do it all.
Do it well.
And well, yeah, that's right. But right now, for more specifically, we're talking about video games. And we're both
Which-
versed in this.
By the way, you can sell and purchase Heyo
Heyo!
on trollandtoad.com. Not
That's
a lot
right.
of people know that, Mark.
Yeah, you can sell to us,
Yep.
or you can actually put your stuff on Evo.
Yep. Which is a whole nother.
It's a whole nother thing
Can
that
of
we talk about
worms,
soon.
yes.
It's pretty cool.
If you guys don't know about Evo, you can go to the website and scroll to the bottom and click Evo Merchant Setup, I think. And it's just a way to sell your stuff on the website.
We've already unveiled it.
On
so I might as well.
trollandtoad.com. So, yeah, that's just a little quick side note. We're going to make a better.
We'll make a commercial for it
explanation
too.
of-
Yeah,
yes.
actually, it's going to air during or before the shows. So that it's still screen, we're going to have a little commercial. It'll be pretty nice.
That'd be cool.
It's going to be awesome.
But,
Vigi
yes, we sell Vigi games.
Vigi games.
And we buy Vigi games.
Vigi games,
and
Vigi games,
we
Vigi
love
games.
talking about it. So that's what we're going to do.
Well, our namesake video game, Double Dragon, Special Edition Double Dragon Battletoads,
For the Sega
the
Genesis.
Sega Genesis. Okay, so I
Well,
want to start this out by throwing a game
That's
down.
broke.
No, it's,
Not
it's
really.
fine. But you noticed the last one I dropped stuff too. I keep dropping stuff and I can't speak. I do bird calls
Mm-hmm. Are
and
you
I can
having a
dance.
stroke?
Of genius.
Sure.
Okay, so there's plenty of games in front of us from different consoles. I told you that we're going to argue about what the better console is.
Or are we going to argue?
I'm going to disarm you. You ever seen the movie First Night with Richard Gere? How he disarms the guy? Like he tosses his sword
Oh,
in the air?
yep.
Yeah, Richard Gere.
Where's that guy been?
I don't know. In my dreams, I love Richard Gere, man. He's awesome. Pretty Woman?
You've heard about that rumor, though, of him, right?
What?
I guess not. I'll just let you look it up. Just Google Richard Gere rumor.
I will Google it, gaggle it, whatever needs to be done. I'll do it. But that being said, video games.
Yeah.
We get off topic.
Nathan, God, you are having a
I'm
stroke.
useless as a person.
You are having a
I know.
stroke. Did you see the video of that? We're just making light of it. She's okay. The video of that newscaster woman that she had a stroke on air.
She's all right?
Yeah,
Okay,
she
good.
was okay.
Oh, we're getting dark quick.
Yeah, but she was like saying the news, and all of a sudden it's kind of like what you're doing. Everything was incoherent. You couldn't understand what she was saying.
That happens to me every now and then.
Might be mini strokes.
Might be
Anyhow.
many. That being said. All right, where do we want to start?
You wanted to get this together, and you wanted to fight.
Well, it's going to be pretty easy. First off, let's talk about this system right here. Most people say Dreamcast. Why would they have a Dreamcast up here? But we both actually really agree that this system, when it came out, was years.
Yes, this system
ahead of its
was way ahead of its time. It's actually a shame that it ended up dying.
Yeah.
Which luckily, Nintendo did join up with Sega. Well, pretty much absorb Sega.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you can still play.
Well, some of the legends live on that way. Sonic
Yeah.
the Hedgehog.
Yeah. Dreamcast, I mean, think about it. Dreamcast had, no, actually, I can't say that they innovated it, but, they had all the stuff that is coming out for the consoles right now for the controllers. Like, they had access recognition in
They
their
had
controllers.
access recognition in their controllers?
Yeah. And then they had the microphone, which you could talk into it, but it was like more revolutionary. But the reason why I say that they didn't really innovate it was, do you know that there was a microphone in the Famicom,
No.
the Japanese Nintendo? That's why when you play The Legend of Zelda,
I feel like a mind blow here is about to happen.
when you play The Legend of Zelda, there are, I think, the bats. There's some kind of mob that's gaming talk.
Gaming talk
Some
for
kind of mob.
NPC or villain.
Some kind of monster
Somebody's
mob.
attacking you
Yeah.
generally.
That in the dungeon, there's a little microphone on the controller, and if you just yelled into it, it killed them instantly.
What?
Because they didn't like sound.
Oh, that's crazy.
But
Is it in the American versions of the game?
no, because the controller didn't have a microphone.
Yeah, but was that still in the game though?
I think it was in the when you read the manual, it said that in the manual in the Japanese version, so that's why people done it. But then also in the American one, it says the same thing, but it's almost like it's just for flavor. Like they don't like sound, but which could still mess with you because then you'd be like, well, maybe if I throw a bomb in this room, it'll kill them.
yeah.
But it doesn't. You have to like,
But
you could yell until you're passed out at the TV, but
There were a lot of really cool innovations done when the Dreamcast came out. I remember the first live action scenes I saw in a game were on Dreamcast. At least the ones I seen. I had Seesaw. I can't speak anyways. Why even try? No. But as far as games go, what do you think game-wise was somewhere around your favorite generation? And excluding now, because there's a lot of really good games out right now.
Since we mentioned the Dreamcast, I will tell you that my favorite.
Nathan agrees.
Actually, I have two. I'll cheat a little bit. I have two games that I loved on the Dreamcast. One was Sonic Adventure, I think 2.
Yeah.
They introduced Shadow. And then the other one was Power Stone. I absolutely loved Power Stone.
This is how old we are. You remember Sonic 3D?
Yes. Is that for the Saturn?
It was for the Sega or the Saturn. I can't remember. It might have been for the Saturn.
I think it was for the Saturn.
I think it was for the Saturn. But either way, I remember when that came out and you could move in 4 dimensions.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? This is crazy. No more side scrolling. What is this?
You want to hear a funny story?
I thought the graphics
when
were
I was
tremendous.
a kid of when Super Nintendo came out. All right, so you guys are going to love this story. So, Kmart was thriving back then, and there was a
Yes.
Kmart here in town. Well, as a child, every time I walked by the electronics, they had a Super Nintendo set up to play Super Mario
Yep.
World. I never got to play it because there was always some other brat playing it. And I'm going to say brat because I wanted to play it, so they were
Yeah,
brats.
that's right.
All right, so one day my mom takes me to Kmart. I finally get to play. As soon as I start playing, I have to pee.
Oh.
I just let it go, son. I just let it go. I kept playing Super Mario.
yourself. You pinch yourself. That's awesome.
Had to, man.
That's amazing. I remember-
Dedication.
I used to do that with. I did that with Star Fox 64 when it came out. I remember
peed yourself?
standing. No, not peeing. Well, I mean, out of joy. No, I remember standing there and looking up because you know, the TVs are way above your
Oh,
head.
yeah.
And you had to stand there for hours. I was
controller was right
and my
here.
neck would start hurting, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, but it's so fun!" And
Yeah.
you couldn't stop it like a zombie. God, those were the days, man.
They really were. No
Like
one
this-
cares about well,
It's like
the gaming landscape's changed so much since then.
like nowadays, I would almost say that graphics don't really matter anymore because they're getting extremely good. And until
They're
like,
computers. That's all they're building now.
well, yeah, it's like the next step is for it to look like you sitting there.
Yeah.
Like you being on the screen. Like that's that's where we're headed. Like that's the future.
I saw some stills recently of it was the WWE 2K18. They had a still picture of I think Finn Balor, and I didn't even know that was taken from in the game. I thought it was a legit picture of him.
It's like Did you see Kingslave Final Fantasy 15? The
I've seen
movie.
bits and parts of
Okay,
it.
well the graphics in 15 are crazy good.
Oh yeah.
But that's the next step to me. But when we were kids, like I said, moving in 4 dimensions or the graphics in Sonic 3D being good, like that was a big deal back then because we were playing with Mario, we were playing like Galaga if you were in an arcade, like things that.
I mean,
just-
if you go back now and you play Super Mario 64, it's still a great game, but when you
it's
look at the graphics of it, you're like, okay.
it's one of the better games ever made, actually.
Oh, it is. It
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
That Zelda, Sonic the Hedgehog, some of your staples.
Yep.
But what do you think is the best system? Now, this is probably I'm gonna get Dave and Nathan involved in this too.
Best system
Like
ever. Or
not
current.
And we're excluding PC.
Best system ever.
And the only reason we're excluding PC is because you can, like, they're mass produced, yes, but they're all not the same. Like, if I can. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He said that was the best race of.
I mean, there is the
PCs are tremendous, absolutely tremendous,
Sure.
but they're not like mass produced in the sense of
PCs?
they're not exactly the same. Like, The Xbox or Xbox One S, they're all going to be the same.
Right.
Like the original PlayStation 4, it's going to be all the same.
You realize that that's how you limit yourself, though, as a console player?
What do you mean?
Okay, let's take the Dreamcast, for example. It can only go, that's like a car. It can only go so fast until you change something.
Yeah.
But see, that's the glory of a computer is
It can
computer's
be
yours.
it can be as good as you build it.
Yeah, you can
No,
keep modding
that's
it.
exactly why. Because I'm going by what the majority of people, I don't want to say the majority of people play, but I do want to say, like, when I think of gaming, I think of Xbox, PlayStation,
Oh, yeah,
Nintendo.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like the consoles, like Atari 2600. Remember that? Yeah, I had one of them. Not
Actually,
long
I
ago.
think I have a 2600.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
see, but that's what I mean by like best console, and that's why I'm assuming PC is because you can change out parts to make it faster. You can't change out parts on a
That's
PlayStation
fine.
or
I mean,
Xbox. That's
a PC is also not a console, so when you say console,
yeah, I'm trying to not limit it,
That's fair.
or I'm trying to limit it. Is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, to make it something that's because if you talk about computers, you can like video cards, sound cards, things like that. But with the Xbox or PlayStation, they're going to be about the same.
The only thing you can really talk about is like peripherals.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, absolutely. But so let's say Xbox versus PlayStation.
I will still.
PlayStations are cheaper on the hardware that they have. I think it's Department of Defense took all the PlayStation 3s and actually made them into a supercomputer.
So
That's true.
Nathan's saying PlayStation.
I'm
Dave,
saying
what do you
PlayStation.
think?
You already know my opinion.
Of console.
There is no such thing as consoles.
So Dave
Dave-
is a hard pass.
Dave doesn't want to answer that question. That's okay, Dave. I'm saying Xbox.
Now you said that you had a whammy of a reason that
I
couldn't
have
be
a
argued.
really good reason.
Okay.
Okay. The reason I like an Xbox is because I don't think it's the better system. But that's why I think it's the better system. You ready for my explanation?
You just confused me, but go for it.
Yeah, exactly. See, I know that a PlayStation is a better built system. It's going to work better. It's going to function better. But there's something about an Xbox that I just think is really cool.
The UI.
Probably
So-
the UI.
So you think Xbox is better because you?
It's crappier. Oh, it's like, if you ever watched the episode of Top Gear where they talk about a McLaren versus a Ferrari,
no,
and they said
but
well, in Top Gear they talk about the McLaren being like the best machine, like the best built car, but they all prefer the Ferrari because there's something about it. Like there's just something about the Xbox that I'll prefer.
so you're saying
I have them both.
You're
mind
saying
you.
the it factor.
Yeah.
So you're putting the it factor in here. We're not talking about like guts and.
No, I'm not talking about.
We're not talking about the
no.
hardware and the
I'm talking about the
software.
hardware. I'm just talking. Yeah. Like it's a better system to me, even though it's not the better system.
Right. Yeah. You want me to tell you one that was bad though? The good old fashioned Xbox. I hated that.
It was not great.
It was pretty bad.
But you here,
It's a good paperweight.
Sony built they built consoles.
Yeah.
Like that's what they did.
But
That's what they do.
Microsoft built computers,
Built
so
computers.
it's like, how
Well,
do
they
you,
make? Who makes? I mean,
how does it not translate over easily?
what do you mean? Oh, from building computers to building?
Yeah.
I have no idea. I have no idea why their system isn't better than the PlayStation. That being said, PlayStation is the better system, but I prefer the Xbox. I hope that makes some kind of sense. I have
will
them both.
say-
I'll say that again.
I use my Xbox One as a Netflix player.
I use them both
I've
for
had it for
Netflix,
2
actually.
years and I've played one game on it.
What game was it?
Doom. That was it.
Oh, wait a minute.
I rented it and beat it in like one day and then just sent it back.
You beat it in a day?
Yeah. I wasn't going to pay
Um,
another fee.
Where'd you rent it?
Redbox.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
You can still rent games.
Yeah.
Holy. You remember those days you go into like Blockbuster and you sit there and just browse through the video game?
Movie
man,
Warehouse.
Movie Warehouse, man. Hollywood Video. Here in
Hollywood
Corbin.
Video,
Yeah,
yeah.
man.
Those were I didn't like Blockbuster, but there's something about Blockbuster that I will give them props on. One, they had Blockbuster exclusive games,
Yeah.
like that
Oh, yeah.
Flintstones game
Yep.
for NES.
You remember
I'd love
that
to
you
have
could
that.
rent like the old days when you could rent like Bucky O'Hare or Sonic the
Yeah,
Hedgehog. Remember
yeah,
Bucky O'Hare?
yeah.
God, what the Righteous Indignation. What a great name
Wasn't
for
he
a show.
the Green Rabbit?
The Green Rabbit,
Yeah.
man. You had Dead-Eye Duck, Bucky O'Hare, Blinky.
Yep.
What was the cat's name? Was it
You,
cat?
you know it better than me. I only remember Bucky O'Hare.
Oh, I can't remember the gorilla's name. God, there were so many, but the Toads were the bad guys.
Do you remember you could rent?
Complex.
You could rent consoles at Blockbuster too. So that was even better. It was like, oh,
I didn't know you could rent consoles. How did
Yeah.
I not know this?
they were in a big black, like briefcase, and they were sitting on a rack. So if you like, when
had no
PlayStation
idea.
came out and you're still sitting on the Super Nintendo, you could go there and rent the console for like, you had to rent it I think a minimum of 3 days, but it was like 15 or 20 bucks. But then get you a game, get you the console, get a long weekend. You took
yeah.
Friday or Monday off, but you're a kid, so you don't.
You don't really have that.
You just-
got
you're
Saturday and
sick.
Sunday. Yeah.
You're sick
you
on
get
Friday.
sick. Oh man, wasn't that the best time to game? Like
Yeah.
you were sick, so you didn't go to school. So the hours between 8 and noon, you were like, oh,
You've never had those hours
Yeah,
before
yeah.
during the week.
you're just like, oh, this is sweet. Like,
Yeah.
And then like right around 2 or 3 o'clock would hit, and like the sweetness would vanish from the
Yeah.
day, and you're just like, oh, it's just a normal day now.
I done that. Actually, you ever play Daydreamin' Davy for Nintendo
No.
for the NES? I was trying so hard to beat that game that I was making myself get up 2 hours before school started, and I would play and try and beat it. It never worked.
What do you think the hardest game ever?
Hardest game ever? There's some contenders up there.
They are. You know when they redid all the Zeldas for GameCube? Do you remember that when they came with the collector's
had the
edition, or
Master
Ultimate?
Quest?
Yeah, yeah, that's it. If you played because it had all of them,
Mm-hmm.
like so you could play Zelda, Zelda 2, like all the way through Majora's Mask and Wind Waker.
It had all those?
It had all of them in it.
Oh.
And I think it had a Wind Waker in it. I know it had like Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time. But if you played the first Zelda in that, the processor was so fast that towards the end of the game, one of the characters, like one of the NPCs, one of the mobs, you had to work with timing. I can't remember which dungeon it's in, but you couldn't beat it.
It was too fast?
Yeah, like it was like a quarter second faster than it was in the original, and it was almost
That
impossible.
sucks.
Because I beat every single one of them and couldn't beat that. I didn't beat it as a kid either. I still haven't beat it. Like, that's the sad part.
I'll tell you a game that was hard.
But that's also back in the day when you couldn't save. Remember
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Remember those days when you, like, you had, or PlayStation came out and you had to buy a memory card? But
This
I
is
was
a
just
good,
happy to be like, oh, memory card.
This is
Awesome.
a good segue then. I just recently beat Ninja Gaiden for the Nintendo,
Ooh.
but it was on the Classic, the NES Classic, so I can make save states.
That's awesome.
And
Did
I
you
don't know how anybody.
ever beat it without them?
Yeah,
That is, that was,
I don't remember the codes. No.
You had to, where if you got to a certain level,
I remember,
silver screen and give you a code. Where if you quit, you go back to that. It was a Sega Genesis.
Oh,
I remember you ever play Comic Zone?
I never played it, but I do know it. You fought on the frames.
Of a comic
Of
book.
the
That's
comic,
a tough
yeah.
game too, but you could cheat in it too. That's how I beat it. I had to. You can't beat a game like that. I guess some people out there must have, but I didn't. But
Well,
yeah,
that's the thing. Games back then, they were effing hard.
you know why? Because that was in a time
They didn't know how. Yeah.
they didn't know how to make a beatable game.
Yeah.
Like, that was in a time of arcades. Like, so you got to remember, arcade games were made to take money, were made to get your money. So you had like Jim Brusso who could play all day on Galaga, or
On 1 quarter.
on a quarter, or what's his name, Steve Weeby, that could play Donkey Kong forever.
Yep.
Like, that's not how it is supposed. Like for consoles, that's how it wasn't meant to be. You know, like these are meant to be beaten. But there's some like Ninja
But
Gaiden.
how
I've
hard
heard
is it to beat it was where they.
that's where they didn't know.
Yeah.
Like that was the frontier of how. What do you do?
Well, let's talk about this because that's a good point. So you play games now, and have you noticed that like your average, AAA, I say Hollywood, but just your big budget game.
Like Grand Theft Auto 5.
No, that's a bad example
Why is that
because
a bad
that,
example?
that one was worked on for years, and that
Okay.
game is really really good. I'm saying like, like God of War or the new Tomb Raider series,
yeah.
stuff like that, Uncharted. You can beat those games in a modest 8 hours.
Yeah.
Okay. But those games are also almost like you're literally playing a movie, like an interactive
That's
movie.
my favorite thing about the Uncharted series. That's the Uncharted is the. I haven't even played Uncharted 4 yet. I know it's been out for a long time, but
I
that's
need to
the
play
reason
the whole
I have.
series. I've just been waiting.
Have you played any of them?
No.
Oh man, it's like a newer Indiana Jones. That's
Yeah,
exactly
yeah.
what it's like watching a movie.
I played the new Tomb Raiders, and from what I've been told, it's that just a different.
It is. They're
Yeah.
they're they're tremendous.
Well, they're both by Naughty Dog, right?
Oh yeah.
I think, yeah.
Some people make Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah, Naughty
Crash
Dog,
Bandicoot.
yeah.
They came up with a new Crash Bandicoot, or revised of the original.
Yeah, they
Isn't that awesome.
they
man?
brought it back, and I really like.
Pla-
I wanted
old
to get it.
platforming games, man.
I wanted to get it, and I read a review on it, and there was a couple things that kind of turned me off to it, but I'll probably still pick it up.
I'd pick it up. It's Crash Bandicoot.
Crash
Remember
Bandicoot.
those commercials with the dude in the big costume, and he'd be like
Yeah.
standing by a motorcycle in the desert and kicking it, and
Have you seen the memes now? The
No.
Crash Bandicoot memes. I think they're dead at this point, but yeah, there's a. I think it's on when you die in Crash Bandicoot. He sits there and he's just like, oh.
yeah, I remember that.
It's that. There's just a big.
I think I got a chance to play it not too long ago at Dave's actually, because his roommate was playing it.
The remastered one.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You know, that speaking of which, that's another reason too that I say that PlayStation is the better system, because if you think about it, the original PlayStation was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
PlayStation 2 is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
PlayStation 3 is awesome. But they never really had to change anything.
Actually, I would say PS3. Actually, I think PS3 underperformed compared to PS1 and 2, but it's still good. It was still a good system.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
That was the day and age of the 360.
They're they're consistent.
Oh yeah, they're
They're
consistent.
consistent
yeah.
as can be, and really, really good consoles. Like PlayStation 1, PlayStation. Here's where they did the right thing. They've always tried to do one thing well.
Yeah.
You know, they never tried to doll anything up. They made a system that played games, and they made a system that played games well. The only thing I remember messing up as a kid was when your game got scratched up.
Mm-hmm.
Or, you know, we don't have any Nintendo, so
Yeah.
remember that? Everybody remember?
This says explicitly on the back to not do that.
Yeah, but you had to.
You had to.
You
Does
had-
it say
if
it on
you-
a Sega cartridge?
I don't know, but I did it to these. That's right.
No, it doesn't even say it.
Moisture can get in from your breath and corrode the connector.
It can corrode the connectors, but when the connectors didn't work in the first place, you really didn't have anything to
Yeah.
lose.
Here's the thing: it doesn't say it on the back of a Sega, but because, or that is because, it was a top-loading system, which Nintendo finally realized. Oh, top-loading, that'll fix it. It didn't allow the pins and the connectors to shift. That's why the front-loading Nintendo
Pretty bad for it.
sucks really bad for
It
that.
sucks horrible. You remember
if
that?
you guys can pick up a top-loading Nintendo, they are expensive, but it's definitely worth
You
it.
remember that? Having to take the game out and put the game in.
Yeah.
Like, that's a
To load
Nintendo.
it
That's
in,
my
yeah.
childhood. Game comes out, games go in.
And everyone,
goes out,
I
game
swear,
goes in.
everyone had their own method to make games work on their Nintendo.
Oh, yeah,
It was
nobody
almost like
ever-
if everyone had,
It was like a thumbprint.
Yeah.
None of the same.
if everyone had the same car, every person would know their own little way as to how that car worked, though, like how
Yeah.
it behaved. That was the Nintendo. Like, I had this thing where if I put the cartridge in and it didn't work when I as you said,
Yeah.
I would do it really fast, like like that right there, and it would just work.
Yeah. I don't.
But you go over to
I'm
someone
so
else's
happy those
Nintendo.
days are over. Like, really.
Yeah.
I think most kids these
I still
days
miss
need
this,
to play the first Mario on a Nintendo after it's been left in a closet for about 6 weeks and get covered in dust and make it work, because that's part of playing the game, is getting the game to actually function in the system.
Yeah, that was.
Like, it really makes you appreciate the ability to download something.
I never did. I don't think.
That old.
Oh wait, I was gonna say I don't think I ever, as a kid, bought a Nintendo game new, because back then, that was the flea market stuff. You couldn't go
It
to.
still is though.
Yeah. But as time's gotten on, you don't come across just cardboard boxes full of Nintendo cartridges like you used to.
And it's kind of weird how Nintendo game systems, they kind of like petered out until the Switch. Like, the Wii was good, the Wii U was good.
Nintendo to Super to the 64, and then after that,
nothing.
I would say GameCube.
Like-
GameCube is where it plateaued,
Yeah, no.
and then the Wii was like
The Wii was okay.
the Wii
But-
was too ambitious.
It was very ambitious,
Trying
but
to play Transformers on the Wii was a terrible experience.
the
I'd
Wii
say
was.
so.
the Wii, yeah, I guarantee it. The Wii was ambitious, but like, they were pushing it.
Yeah,
And you can never. I'm never going to give a slight to anybody that's like pushing the advancement of technology towards
Yeah,
the
but
better
when-
of gaming, at least.
that's where you test that, like PlayStation. They made, okay, yeah, they didn't have motion controls. Nintendo comes out with a whole console revolving around it.
Motion controls. Then
So
they
PlayStation just
built
brings
big
out the
controllers for
wands.
'em, remember?
But yeah,
Yeah.
then they went back and they made a
Well,
peripheral.
look at the Nintendo Switch. That's the saving grace right there. And then like, well, not saving grace. I don't want
If
to
they
say that.
just get some more games, God Almighty.
Well, they're more aimed towards children,
No, that is true.
but at the same time, they're the king of the handheld. In my
That's
mind, they'll
true,
always
too.
be. But here's another thing that aggravates me about that statement. And I love Nintendo. Don't get me wrong. But when you talk about a Nintendo, think about a Game Boy. Everybody, some of you at home might not remember the original Game
I'm
Boy.
talking
If
about
you
the
don't,
Game Gear.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you look at an original Game Boy, it was a brick this big, okay, and then it was indestructible. However, it had like a calculator screen on it.
Mm-hmm. It was literally just
Literally
the,
that. I remember playing Pokemon on that.
The
Like,
green crystal. Yeah.
Mine got ran over and it still worked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dave said his got ran over and it still works.
Yeah.
But the trick is, if you look at the Game Gear, it was big and blocky, yeah,
Yeah.
but it had a LED screen.
It had, yeah.
Maybe not LED, but at least it lit up.
It was
where
a
you-
full color scheme.
It was a full, yeah. It had full color spectrum in
Yeah.
it.
And
But
that
with-
Sonic game for it, by the way, is really good.
It's killer. That's funny because that's the one I always played when I was a kid. And
Yep.
the trick is with a Game Boy, one of the old Game Boys, you had to like sit under a lamp. You remember
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Even when the Game Boy Color came out, it wasn't really color. It was like shades.
Yeah.
I remember Game Boy Color on road trips. You had to hold and wait for street lights to come overhead through the window.
Yeah.
To see what you're doing.
Unless you
God,
had
yeah.
the peripheral that you attached it and it was the light that
Oh,
came
they
back
came up. Yeah, yeah. Like, see, I remember for the Game Gear, you could attach like it started out to be this big, but after you put all your attachments
Yeah.
on it, it was this big. So it's like you were carrying around like
You're carrying around your 13-inch TV.
it was like
with
carrying
it.
around the console of the Enterprise
Yeah.
with you everywhere you went.
The magnifying glass for the screen.
The magnifying glass, that was awesome. But that's when you were like, wow, look at this technology. But now it's just
Sega,
it's
I
blown
mean,
away.
Sega had a point there, and it seems like we're just going from topic to topic.
But no, that's fine. This is all really, really good.
Sega had a moment where, like, the Sega Genesis was the creme de la creme. It actually gave Super Nintendo a run for its money. And there's where, honestly, the first console war started, in my opinion, because you always knew that there was, like, you knew that kid down the street that had the Sega, but he never had the Super. Well,
Yeah, I didn't have a Super Nintendo, but I had a Sega.
See, I had a Super, never had a Sega. No one ever had both because you didn't live in that same rich
I'm an adult now.
neighborhood.
That's the only reason I have a PlayStation 4 and an Xbox One.
Yeah, because I can afford
Look at-
things like that now.
Yeah, because I want the ability to play all the different games. Like, I don't want to be limited by that.
Well,
at
you know,
least.
okay, let's talk about that for a minute then. Now that there's all these new systems out, there's very few exclusives. That was the thing when you played a Super and a Sega. The guy that had the Sega Nintendo, or the Sega
Super-
Genesis,
Sega Genesis, he wouldn't go playing Mario.
yeah, you never saw any of those games. And the guy that had the Super Nintendo, yeah, you had the Nintendo games. Sega had all the more, almost like a more adult, like more mature style
Genre
games.
of games?
Yeah,
Kind of, yeah.
and they would release the same game
I-
for different systems, but the game would actually be different.
Yeah, like look at the Shinobi. Everybody remember Shinobi? This is Shinobi 3 on a Sega.
Yeah,
Yeah. You remember that game? You used to run around as a ninja killing everybody.
yeah.
How do you not? Like, I don't know, man. I think exclusivity is kind of good though. I think that they're trying to like experiment with cross-platform play now, which is cool.
I never realized how old Sega Genesis was. Holy crap!
Exclusively Sega at first.
Mortal Kombat was
Uh,
arcade first, wasn't it?
I mean, yeah, it was arcade, but
On the first console came out.
I think the first console was Sega. Yeah.
And for
Yeah.
anybody at home that has the original Mortal Kombat, if you're at the start screen, or the screen that pops up right before the start screen, and you hit ABAC ABB, it turns on blood. Did you know
that's
that?
right, yeah.
Because those games came out where you could turn blood on or off.
Yeah.
It's kind of
That
like
was during the very heavy PG era.
Yeah. Like, which I think they're video games.
Yeah.
Like, well, there's some stuff
That's
that,
when
like,
people were getting all up and about Marilyn Manson. You know, so I mean.
Yeah, those were the times, man. It was
Yeah.
called the '90s. Great times. But at the same time, you're not gonna find. I think the quality of the older games is better in some ways.
Oh, by far. Like you could pick up a game like this right here, like Battletoads Double
Battletoads Double
You
Dragon.
could play this all day, for hours.
and not get
One,
close to beating it.
yeah, you wouldn't get close to beating it.
Yeah.
But two, that's why survival games now are like the roguelite, as they call them now. Those games where you die a lot.
Yeah.
It's because our generation remembers games like this,
Yeah.
and those are appealing.
The cool thing about this is that if you actually, I think if you had the port that let you plug in 2 more controllers, you could play with 4 characters.
What?
Yeah, because remember, this was side-scrolling, 2 people on the same
Yeah,
screen. You couldn't
yeah.
leave the borders of the screen. Most kids don't know what that's like because people
Yeah.
grow up with Modern Warfare and all these other games where it's massive multiplayer. But I think you could. And I remember you had Zip, Pimple,
Rash.
Rash, Billy, and Jimmy.
Yep.
Bimmy or Jimmy in this
Bimmy.
case. That's actually where we get that from. If nobody knows, which game was it? Double
That was
Dragon.
I think it's Double Dragon 2.
Two?
Yeah, they
I
had a
wanna say it was
typo. They had a typo in the intro, and it
Yeah.
said the Double Dragons Bimmy and Jimmy
Instead of Billy and Jimmy.
instead of Billy and Jimmy.
God.
That's where that's from. Yeah.
And this game right here was on Game Gear. This is the original Batman game.
You remember the one on Nintendo where he's purple?
Yeah. Do you remember playing Spider-Man on NES?
I remember playing it on Atari. Let me tell you about that.
Was it the one where in the first level? I love that game because of course there were little buildings on the screen, and Spider-Man was massively out of scale.
Yep.
But you could climb up the building.
Yeah,
Like,
you had to shoot web and it go. "Buh."
that's right. Or then there was the Spider-Man 2, I think, where you could shoot up and you could swing.
Maybe that's the one. He could swing.
That might have been it.
He could swing. Yeah,
Because
because you
back
had to
then,
rescue people.
but see,
and
this most people
Green
don't
Goblin was throwing.
There's gonna be a
pumpkins.
kid watch this that's not gonna know what we're talking about because back in our day, the ability to climb straight up a wall or to shoot a web and then sling across was a big deal. It's
Mind
not
you,
like-
this is like 4-bit.
yeah, this is yeah,
This
yeah.
is 4-bit technology.
Spider-Man's a red and blue square.
Yeah.
Yeah, Spider-Man was basically red and blue square, and it's not like Just Cause 3 where you can jump out of an airplane, throw out a wingsuit, and then go to a parachute and then grappling hook to something. That technology was
Yeah. Put
nowhere.
rockets on a cow and send it to the moon.
Yeah, put rockets on a cow and send it to the moon. You just couldn't do that stuff, man.
No.
Like it was amazing. Like I said earlier, Sonic 3D. I could go left and right, but I could also go up and down. I was blown away. I don't mean jumping.
That's
I
that's
mean,
another thing that I love about our generation is when video games started coming out, pretty much our first console was maybe an Atari, but for most people it was Nintendo.
Nintendo, yeah.
But we've seen Nintendo to Super, the Sega, to the PlayStation. We've seen it go from
We've lived
8-bit
during-
to 16-bit to 32 to 64 to 128 to 256,
All the way to 4K now.
all the way to, yeah.
Which
Which that's resolution, not.
well,
but-
yeah. Well, I'm just saying, like, have you ever played like tanks? You remember tanks for an Atari? Where just 2 little tanks. and
Yeah, I had
whatever,
that game.
Whatever direction you point your characters, which way
Yep.
he shoots. Have you ever played that with somebody that's about in their 40s?
Are they boss at it?
Yes.
No, I'm not.
I had one at my shop, and I had it set up. And I was like, I just beating everybody in the room. I was like, this is easy. No, you don't play with a 45-year-old
having
person
an
that grew up
Atari
with. Yeah,
challenge?
contest. Yeah, you don't do that.
Yeah.
Like that's not a thing. You don't play against somebody like that because they grew up with it. It's just
Yeah.
like, if I played Tekken, if I played Tekken 2 with like my father, no, I would just beat him. But if I played, let's say, Galaga with my father, he'd be like,
Oh yeah, they're a different breed, man.
They're
I tried to play Donkey Kong,
they're from
the
a time.
arcade, and
It's impossible.
I couldn't get past the first level.
They're from a time where like you had to make your quarters count
Yeah,
because if you died, you had to pay.
there's
Like-
a reason why old dad's hard on me.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He says, "Oh, we talk about that. This generation doesn't know the struggle," and he's like, "Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about when you walk in with 2 quarters, and you got 4 hours to burn."
I can imagine what that. I never got to do that.
No,
Like I got to play in a few arcades, yeah, but like I never was like,
I wish arcades were still around like they used to be.
yeah.
But unfortunately, they're not.
Fortunately not.
I'm like 6 years younger than you guys. My first console was PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
My first game was Spyro.
Hey, that's a good starter right there.
Yeah, Spyro's a good game. But you remember Turok, Dinosaur Hunter?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something funny about that game. You know what you don't do in that game? Hunt dinosaurs.
For the most part, like
you just hunt people.
you're not a dinosaur hunter in it. Yeah. I mean, there are
It's
dinosaurs
called
that will.
Turok Dinosaur Hunter.
There's not dinosaurs that are really like.
Turok, whatever.
I mean, there's some that are trying to kill you that you have to fight off, like little raptors and stuff. And
Yeah,
there is
but-
there is a T-Rex, but yeah, it's not like.
That's not
yeah.
the point of the game.
Yeah, it's not really the point of the game.
I don't know, man. There's some stuff right here like this is the original Battletoads.
I've never
by the
even
way.
seen that for Sega.
You never seen this?
No.
I had this.
Let me see that. See, that's the thing. Okay, who do you go to that has the Sega Battletoads? Nobody. I mean, here at Trolling Toad, we do, obviously. If
Yeah, we have. I mean, we have.
you guys want to
know,
buy it, go ahead
we
because
have everything gaming here.
it's complete, I think.
All things gaming.
It doesn't have a manual, but still.
Shinobi, impossible to beat. You can beat it with cheats. Double Dragon, Battletoads, Batman. Batman was extremely hard too.
It was hard.
I remember you got to select what you got to put on your belt, like what special
Yeah.
like items he could use, because you had to have the batarang.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's just so much cool stuff here, man. That
We'll have to do more off the cuffs where we just
We-
break down and target
a
certain
console.
thing. Yeah.
I'd love to do that. That's what we're gonna do. Next off the cuff we do, we're gonna get a console.
Let's just start from the ground up.
What do you mean? Start with Atari?
What about ColecoVision?
Oh man, I don't know if I want to go that far back.
Let's start with Atari, where it was actually considered like the home console when they first started taking
That was
off.
like the late 70s, I want to say.
Probably right. Yeah.
Probably around the late 70s.
I think Nintendo came out like the mid '80s to late 80s.
80. Ooh, I don't want to guess and be wrong.
Yeah.
I know it was the 80s.
It's
though.
at least '87 because that's when the first Mega Man came out.
Yeah.
So you could
That's
say
what we do.
'86 or something.
That's what we're gonna do. So next one we're gonna do. Let's go. I think console. Let's do console. Like you have to do Atari. Then what?
I mean, we can keep it easy. Just go from Atari to Nintendo. Actually, we'll just look up the years,
Yeah.
and then we'll just do a timeline.
We'll just go chronologically.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Easy.
it could be Xbox, then it could go PlayStation 3, then it could go whatever this, whatever
Yep,
here. Yeah,
whatever it
I
is.
love that. There's one last thing I do want to talk about before we end this, though.
Okay.
We were talking a little bit about how you could turn on blood in Mortal Kombat. By the way, if you want to know that, the original Mortal Kombat, it's either ABAC, ABB, or ABAC. It's Abacab.
Abacab.
That's, yeah, Abacab.
Like I said, I mean, I have a Sega now, but
ABAC, ABB, or ABAC,
I
ABB.
couldn't even tell you what
That's it.
games I have for it.
But that being said, what do you think about censorship in video games? Like, this is a really probably pretty- it's a pretty
In
good
what
topic.
regard, really? Like, are you talking about the game that got banned? Like this game, for example, I forget what it's called. It came out fairly recently, where the whole agenda is literally to just go on like a killing rampage.
What game is that?
I forget the name
Did you ever
of
play,
it.
did you ever play State of Emergency?
No, I know it.
Oh yeah, well that game you create chaos and you can literally mow down hundreds of people. I mean that was a big deal back in the day. It was a Rockstar game, I believe. Then you got Grand Theft Auto, like all the Grand Theft, even the original Grand Theft Autos, which were top down, looking at little crappy pixels.
Oh yeah.
But they were cussing, if you remember, in it.
Yeah.
Like that was a really big deal back in the day. But now you got stuff.
I guess
like,
it just depends really on like what you're
what's
what
that?
you're trying to convey in it. Like if you're trying to
A horror, like a survival
idolize-
horror game. Oh, what about Grand Theft Auto?
No, that's what I mean. If you're trying to idolize like the death of people, then maybe that's sending a wrong message.
I don't know. I'm very torn
I
on this
don't.
subject.
Yeah, I don't know either.
It's such a hard thing because it's like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, and one of the missions you're supposed to go to the airport and shoot
The
a bunch
Mafia?
of people.
Yeah,
Where yeah,
that was very controversial.
that's very and you have the option of skipping it, and I couldn't
Yeah.
believe it. And you could, by the way, you could skip that and still get the achievement for beating it on veteran. Did you know that?
Mm-mm.
You could skip that mission and get the achievement for beating it.
See, that seems backhanded. Like
I
you
understand.
didn't play it.
It's weird when a game puts you in that kind of position.
But see, okay, that's the thing is when I played that mission, I was really just like, holy crap.
Whoa! Yeah, I was
But-
dumbfounded. I was like, am I really about to just kill a bunch of people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You still had like a moral. So I think maybe that's.
Well,
a
no,
part of
if you
it.
don't kill anybody in that mission, they kill you.
No, I'm saying like as a person, you still
Oh.
morally were like, well, this seems.
At the same time, though, it's just a video game. You're not
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
doing it. And I think a lot of studies have shown that video games are actually therapeutic for people that are violent because they can take out all their aggression without actually having to physically hurt anybody.
Well, then if you want to rest with that argument, then no, there should not be any censorship.
But at the same time, have you seen Dead by Daylight?
Yeah.
Like, what about just pure brutality of like people getting
that's-
torn apart? Because that's like a horror thing.
That's a survival horror though. Like once you've seen horror films, that's what that is.
There's so many different ways to look at this. Is such a
Yeah.
difficult subject. We might have to go back to this later on.
That was a horrible ending question because it's just too.
I don't think
That's a
that's
rabbit
twice
hole.
I've done it. Well, no. I don't think so. I mean, we could end it with Star Fox. You ever play Super Smash Brothers?
Yeah, I'm
That's what we
awful
should
at
do.
it.
Here's what we should do. We should get everybody together. We should go out to my shop and we should all play. We should have some
Smash Bros?
contests. We should
I have some friends
contests.
that play around here, and it's not even fair. Like, you ever played? Okay, let's talk about this. You ever played a fighting game against someone who you know is good, and
Yes.
they're just a straight jerk and won't even like give you the time to really like.
Play.
That's where you're the button
That's
smasher.
like the guy that plays Street Fighter. He's a kid. He's like a 13-year-old kid. I think he's from Japan, I want to say. And they call him the Beast. And he is just like incredible. And he plays with like an analog and a
Oh, he's a stick fighter.
stick
player.
Stick player, yeah. They call him the Beast because he can apparently do like a 70 or 80% takedown from the beginning of the match.
I watch a lot of Street Fighter, or I watch a lot of like fighting game.
I mean, Mortal Kombat's
Play.
been like that too, by the way.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm not good at them, so I'm always like, well, let me pick a character or two and get to know them. And it's like, oh yeah, well, take your time. They give you like 3 seconds, and they're just beating up on you. It's like, how is this fun for me?
Who's your
Two,
hey, speaking of which, who's your favorite Mortal Kombat character?
I will say that I actually always liked Reptile.
Scorpion.
See, I feel like there's certain characters that, like Sub-Zero.
Yeah, no, that you're right. You're 100% right. If you play Mortal Kombat 10, play the story, and when you get to Scorpion, you will absolutely say Scorpion is the best character.
Yeah,
He's got the best story,
I like Scorpion's story.
and he's just fueled by fury, man.
Yep.
He's got a great story. And then
Is that the one where they're the ninja brothers, or not brothers, but they're the two clans?
The opposing
Yeah.
clans, and Scorpion killed Sub-Zero.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason you can see Sub-Zero in later games is because it's his brother.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember their names. Anybody remember their names?
Is that the same guy that's the unmasked one that had like the red?
Scar on his face?
Yeah.
Yeah. God, we could get into so much stuff about this.
Yeah, we could.
This is great.
That's why we'll.
By the way, is it sealed?
It's sealed.
It's sealed. If you don't understand what the ting of the pull of the trigger on a retro zapper sounds like,
Oh, the
that
ding, ding.
ding.
Yeah.
Gosh.
You're a gun guy. You think you can mod that?
And to make it into a real gun?
Put you a quick spring
a
in
quick
there?
spring in it? Yeah, but I could. Oh yeah. I'm
We'll
sure
do
I
that
could.
too. Mark here is he's a little bit of a gun nut, not in the way that he's just like trigger
No.
happy, but
No,
he just
yeah.
likes the
Like to build them.
science
Yeah.
behind
how
guns.
they work and the science and like lasers and guns that
yeah.
can shoot underwater and things like that. I think it's just really cool. I
We'll,
used to make
have
them
to get
myself
you.
too, actually. and I
We'll have to
a
get you an
license.
actual zapper. Actually, I have a zapper at home. Let's see if you can mod
Make
one.
it full auto.
Yeah.
That'd be killer.
And then we'll see
There's
if
so
the-
much stuff you didn't have as a kid. Like now there's modded controllers.
Yeah.
Like you hold one button, like
No. Now we did get turbo pads.
yeah. And let me tell you what, kids, if you don't know what a turbo pad is, you don't need to know. It doesn't work.
That's about true.
Yeah. If you ever got it to work, you could never replicate it. It was like
Did you have the turbo pad?
No.
Okay, I actually still have one. First of all, the analog, the D-pad,
Yeah.
it does turn into an 8-dimensional D-pad. Here's the problem. One, it's no longer a D or like
Up
a
and
cross.
down. Yeah.
It's like an A or B button, but it's in a circle, but it like shifts to whichever side you're wanting to go.
That's so weird.
Put it this way, when you play the turbo controller within 5 minutes of using it, you have a blister on your thumb, and you will pull it out of the Nintendo and put the regular controller back in.
If I ever needed to hold down a button, I just tape something to it.
Or you can do that too, yeah.
But modded controllers are a good thing, I think.
Yeah. It is.
What do you think about glitches? If you think
Glitch on,
yeah, you think so?
Yeah.
You think if a glitch is in a game, it's part of the game, so you should do it. You should be able to do it.
I'm not saying that it's like you should do it, but don't feel bad for doing it.
Yeah, I don't either. It's like Fallout 3, where you can sell them their you can buy their stuff and then sell it back to them
Oh, I done that in Morrowind.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could just go into a shop, buy everything you had, leave, go back in, and sell it for more.
Yeah.
First of all, don't know who designs the vendors, but that is not how.
Or did you ever play New Vegas?
Trading
Did you
works.
ever play New Vegas?
No.
You go into a casino in New Vegas, and you could buy a chip, and when you sold the chip back, it wouldn't take it out of your money. It wouldn't take it out of your inventory. So you could buy 10,000, and then you sell back 10,000 infinitely.
I think Bethesda does that on purpose.
I do too.
Because in Morrowind 2, I remember that you could craft your own spells, but you could lock in an effect of the spell. So you could just make these spells that gave you like dexterity temporary bonuses, but it was locked. So every time you cast it on yourself, you just got
would
more and more
would just
dexterity.
stack?
Yeah,
Just
you
continually
could you could
stack?
do speed, and eventually, like as soon as you left the shop, you'd just be, like,
Yeah, I actually,
why allow that stuff in there if you didn't like really intend
I actually
it?
modded my game safe in Fallout New Vegas, and so my character could run real fast. So every now and then you hit like a little rock, and he'd bounce up in the air, and then when he landed, he would die. It was ridiculous. God,
That
such good
sounds like a
games.
volatile existence.
So next time you catch us on Off the Cuff, what we're going to be doing is we're going to start with an Atari, and we're going to go down the timeline of these consoles, play a couple of games. You
Sure.
think? Yeah. And then maybe get some verses, get a little competition going.
We'll see what we can
Involve the boys back there, Dave and Nathan.
do. Get the boys together.
Get the boys together, see if they want to get beat at some Tekken.
If it's not a master race, I don't want to play.
This guy, this guy over
Dave,
here.
who doesn't, he's not actually a gamer. Just saying.
Actually, maybe you don't want him to. Maybe he's
Maybe-
actually
maybe-
someone that
hey,
throws
Hey
controllers.
Dave, here's a good question actually. What do you think about using a console controller on a PC?
You had to do it for Dark Souls too.
Yeah, some games it's
You have to.
You have to
Yeah.
on some of them.
I mean, you don't have to, but
I like that. I like that. Well, you see, that's one thing that I gotta say about the PC. You know, where you can make it yours, you can really do whatever you want. And you
Yeah.
could get. Another argument thing. I think you can actually probably get the most out of a game through a PC
well, yeah, because the hardware
because you can just make it
go
just
further.
lining fast. Like, yeah, that's.
And you can simply. That's the great thing now about Xbox, especially, is you can straight buy an Xbox controller and just plug it USB into your computer.
And just play.
Oh, you want the new whatever coming out for Xbox? Well, here it's going to look 10 times better on the PC,
And flow a lot easier.
and you can still play with your controller.
It'd be cheaper.
And
it can be cheaper. Yeah, that's right.
The fun thing is there's some games that are just better on
Yeah, there are.
Yeah,
There's
some
some
games
games that
are-
are just better.
We've covered.
Oh, boy.
We've covered a lot of bases here today.
Yeah, this is some good groundwork.
This is groundwork.
Laid down some brick and
That's
mortar.
solid.
Yeah,
Solid groundwork.
it's good quality.
Hey, if y'all have any games in mind that you want to see us play, give us a yell. Leave it in the comments. Leave
Sure.
it in the down there.
I'm actually, from what Mark's told me, he's a pretty proficient video game player. I definitely am. I'm an only child, so all that I ever had to do was play video
I'm not
games.
saying I'm good
I am.
because. Oh yeah.
Saying I'm good.
Oh, you were saying you're good.
it. He cheats around.
Who? How do I cheat?
There is a glitch, you will use it.
That's
If-
okay.
If there's a glitch, I'm gonna use it, but that's not my fault that it's in there. I don't know. I didn't glitch.
I'm not a bad guy.
I'm not a bad guy, dude. But I'm not saying you can't cheat at Tekken or Super Smash Brothers. Well, at least I don't know if you can, because those
No,
are just
I mean-
button smashing. I'm gonna get in a fight with my brother games.
Actually, in Super Smash Bros. 64, there's you can cheat. You can abuse. This is an abuse.
What is it?
Pikachu's down B, which is PK Thunder.
Well, the lightning strikes him.
Yeah, you can hit someone up and just infinitely just keep. Eventually, they just go off the screen.
I've never
and
seen
it's
that
not
work.
hard to do.
I've never seen that work.
Oh well, remember when I told you about those jerk friends of mine?
Let me tell you what,
There's a
man.
reason why.
There is two things that almost ruined my childhood: Tekken 2 and GoldenEye. Talk about starting.
Oh,
You got
buddy.
two older brothers that both play video games. Jeez.
We need to get GoldenEye and play between four of us.
I'm telling you.
I've got it actually. I still got my Nintendo 64. So when we do Nintendo 64, I've got GoldenEye, I've got Mario Kart, I've got Donkey Kong.
We'll
Army
start
Man.
it, man.
We're gonna start this up. It's gonna be awesome. Like,
We're
this is gonna be
start
fun.
the Trolling Toad video game
League.
league. There you go.
Toad, watch one of us strangle the other league.
Yep. And we'll see if we can give you guys maybe some incentives to watch.
What do you mean? Little
Maybe we'll do something to
Little
where,
discounts, maybe?
depending on like one of the games that we play, maybe we'll randomly give it away or
Oh God, yeah, that'd
Yeah.
be awesome.
discount or something. Because
I'd
yeah,
get-
guys, we definitely buy and sell games here, so be sure and check out everything that we got.
Like, I haven't played all games. I know a lot of people watch these shows and understand that I'm not the most like rounded person when it comes to a lot of the like games like Magic or Pokemon. I don't know a lot of the stuff about it, but video games is something actually because I haven't been really funny this episode, but I take video games really seriously. Like I swear, dude, they're my therapy.
Well, yeah, that's good.
I love them. I
I
really
don't know
do.
what to say.
It's a touching moment.
Happy for you.
Thanks, Bimmy.
Like I said, I was an only child, so this was like, I didn't even have a neighborhood of kids to hang out with.
I don't
so
know, man,
all it
it's
was
like-
was just play video games.
To me, it was just like the ability to like. It's you can do anything in a video game. Like that's the trick to it. It's like you create. If I wish I was a video game developer, if I was that smart, but unfortunately I'm not. You know, just to develop what I can.
I would want to be one back in the day. I don't know about now.
You know, it'd be a cool
Now
thing.
that old corporate America's
You know what they
gotten
should
into
do?
it.
We know what we should do. We should reach out to Ubisoft. Here's why.
I'm listening.
So we can go to Ubisoft in
Okay.
Montreal.
Okay, that's a good reason.
You like Army of Two?
Never
That's
played it.
EA.
Yay. Yes.
Yes. I don't know. But Assassin's Creed.
I like 1 and 2.
I like Black Flag.
It's,
If you've never played Assassin's Creed, you can play Assassin's Creed
it's
1,
like playing
2,
Call
3.
of Duty. To me,
They're all
they,
the same?
eventually they just start to get just like reskinned.
No, Black Flag.
Black Flag is awesome. Unity, not so much.
Yeah, I
Unity
heard that
was-
was pretty bad.
It was so bad that they gave away the DLC just to get people back
Yeah.
into it. Then they came back with Syndicate. Thank you, Ubisoft. Syndicate. They needed it. Like they really did, man. Unity
It
was
was,
horrible. Like you're a
was on-
master assassin. You're trained your entire life to kill people, and you know what you do? You get beat up by a street thug and die. That makes absolutely no sense to me. Like I'm the biggest baddest ass there is, but one of those
Maybe
street thugs come beat
he-
me up.
Maybe he's more than just a common street thug.
Well, there's a lot of them, and they all look exactly the same. And they all,
That's how
yeah.
you know in a video game if he was some grunt when all he
can't
did was
go-
a pallet swap.
You can't go from Ezio Auditore, who can literally kill dozens of men in 20 seconds,
Yeah.
to one guy that gets beat up by a street thug and dies. Like that's it. He's just, you're dead.
Millennial Assassin's Creed.
The
Yeah.
Millennial Assassin's Creed.
Couch is too far away, so I died.
Yeah. Well, thank you all very much for
Thank
watching.
you.
So this is our groundwork for our
Yeah.
our video game console.
But this off the
Like-
cuff may have just spawned another series.
I'm glad it did because this is one thing that's we're gonna have fun with, and I'm gonna get
We
very
just want to keep
competitive.
giving you
and
guys
probably-
content to watch. That's the thing of it. Like
It's fun. I like talking about this stuff.
we do the shows every Tuesday and Thursday. We do the Pat Crackers, and you know what? Let's just keep giving more of a reason to hang out with us and hopefully shop with us as well.
Oh yeah, JohnTell.com.
Regardless, it's fun.
And, you know, I'm excited, and we might have to like pause our friendship when we play some of these games, depending on how competitive
I
we
will
get.
definitely put it on the shelf. Only when we're playing games.
Only when we're playing games. But as soon as the game's over, no, we're friends.
Yeah, back
absolutely.
to the bromance.
That's right. Twilight Twin Dragons.
Bimmy and Jimmy. Put it up there, champ. All right. Guys, we're out of here. But yes, stay
Peace.
tuned.